Hello, everyone. What's going on tonight? Well, this is a time where I feel like CPS has really dropped the ball. This story right here really got me, and the only reason why it got me so upset is because it mentioned that CPS was doing an investigation. Please forgive any background noise. I'm not sure how many people will come in, but this is probably not going to be a long broadcast. But you have CPS who's always harassing, parents and saying things about other parents, making up stories. Where here you have this lady that's 22 years old, and it says mom said she stabbed her 3-year old to death on SpongeBob's orders, investigators say. And this took place yesterday. And I always show you who wrote this article because I always want to give credit where credit is due. But this right here is a heartbreaking story, especially since um hey, what's good, you guys? This is a heartbreaking story, especially since CPS had knowledge of this mother and her mental capacity, but yet they dropped the ball. But, somebody can go and lie and say, that you've abused your own kid and you didn't do anything. Into what's up, my buddy? How you doing? Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Tracy. I'm so glad to see you guys. I wasn't sure if you guys were going to be in, but yeah, this is not going to be a long video. It just disgusted me to see this story. Me and a few girls on here were talking about how children's services did them wrong, but here you have this woman stabbing a 3-year-old child to death, a helpless kid to death. This didn't just happen out of the blue. There were signs, before this child was actually, killed. And I don't understand why is it that they drop the ball when it comes to these types of situations, but you have parents that are loving and that really care about their kids, and yet somebody can get mad at you and put in a false claim and then snatch your children. So I'm gonna get into this story, and it says that the mom said she stabbed her 3-year-old to death on SpongeBob orders. Investigator says. So this right here, and this is a picture of the woman. I got half of her head showing, of course. I'm sorry, but and you guys forgive me. I'm dealing with a little bit of allergy stuff right now. And it says a 22-year-old mother who allegedly stabbed her own 3-year-old daughter to death and stashed the body in a trash bag told a child protective service investigator that SpongeBob SquarePants ordered the murder. How sick can you be? Now, come on, you guys. I'm pretty sure that they knew that this lady had some type of sickness going on in her head, and they probably overlooked it like they overlook everything else. You mean to tell me that SpongeBob was. Come on, you guys. This is full of bullpucky. Okay, that's according to Ryan. I'm so sick of these names. Erbeline, the CPS investigator who interviewed Justin Johnson. Now look, or Justine Johnson. I'm gonna say it right, in jail after the latter had been arrested on charges of felony murder and first-degree child abuse. This is crazy. So how do you do this? How do you like kill an innocent kid? You had to have heard that baby screaming and begging. Oh my God, this is absolutely heartbreaking. And every CPS worker that was on this case prior to this baby's death, they all should be locked up, prosecuted, because you knew that there were telltale signs that this lady had problems, yet you did nothing. So a child abuse, a CPS investigator don't just show up at the last minute. They have been in this lady's life for some time, but they're not putting the full story here. So I don't know. This lady, something is wrong with her. I'm not saying I don't know what's true and what's not true. It could have been introduced to her or anything like that. I don't know, you guys. I'm just trying to make sense of this story. It's really hardening. Um, Eberline testified in court Friday for a preliminary examination of Johnson, who is accused of killing her daughter, Sutton Moser, on September the 16th, just 2 days after her third birthday. Oh my God. See, this is why I say CPS dropped the ball. This is why I said they dropped the ball. They literally dropped the ball, you guys. Come on now. You go into, as a CPS worker, you guys, I got some more stuff that I found what CPS is supposed to be doing when it comes to child protective services. Like I was saying, the AFSCAR, AFSCAR, they're supposed to be reporting all sorts of data when children come into the CPS. And I'm really pissed off right now. Excuse my language, but you mean to tell me that you guys had a forewarning that something was wrong with this lady and you didn't do anything to monitor her or keep up with that child and make sure that this lady is taking her meds, making sure she's keeping her appointments? You didn't do any of this, because this sounds like it could be either drugs or clear mental health, okay? The grisly killing came to light after Johnson's 17-year-old brother found a bag. Oh my God. At the back of the house the family shared and noticed the toddler's foot sticking out of it. You guys, can you imagine seeing something that horrific? Her caseworker should be charged. Yes, her caseworker should be charged. That's exactly right. I was telling everybody, like out here in California, there was a little boy named Gabriel Hernandez. I think I'm saying it right, where his caseworkers, he had three caseworkers, and the mother and the father, I believe, end up, taking the life of this little boy. And so what happened was they ended up going to court. All three of those caseworkers right now today are in prison because they dropped the ball. Because, yep, the workers weren't doing their jobs, Stephanie. You're right. They were not doing their jobs at all. They were too busy collecting a paycheck, trying to be cute. When you take these types of jobs, you have to be very serious when it comes to these types of jobs, because people's lives are actually in your hands and you don't have any room to not do your job. So I worked in outpatient mental health, and when I came along, a lot of the clients, they loved me because I couldn't go home Friday knowing that their situation wasn't handled, and I was going to go home and have a good weekend and do all that I needed to do. But I couldn't sit there and allow them not to have what they needed, to survive during the weekend. We had to make sure they had meds. We had to make sure that they were properly housed. We had to make sure that they had like their personal income, which is a P&I, like an allowance. I made sure I took them shopping and did all that stuff. Even if I worked overtime, I would clock out and do that extra, because I felt like, what if this was me that was dependent on a person like myself? You know what I'm saying? And so these caseworkers, they need to have that same attitude, not just get a paycheck, but care about people, because this is the type of job that you chose. Let me see. This worker wasn't doing her job. Yeah, I read that one. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And this is very heartbreaking to me. According to MLive.com, Eberling said in court Friday that drugs played a large role in Johnson's psychotic break. I thought either it would have been drugs or it would have been disability. Well, either way it goes, if a person is on drugs, you still need to get them a mental health evaluation, because they don't know that when people do drugs and they take drugs for so long, the term that they use is called, it blows your brain out. So once you stop, you're never going to function the same, because you had this stuff streaming through your blood system, and it was blocking all kinds of receptors and everything that's in your head and in your body and your nerve endings and all that good old stuff. So that's why when a person is coming off of drugs, they still need to be evaluated for quite some time, because you don't know the after effects of the drugs that they were on, or that they were sticking in their arms, or whatever they were doing. Okay, so this is really, really sad. I'm going to read this again. It says, according to MLive.com, Eberling said in court Friday that drugs played a large role in Johnson's psychotic break. The distraught mother, who reportedly cried throughout Friday's court proceedings, told the investigator that she didn't remember killing her own daughter. Wow. That's heartbreaking right there. That's heartbreaking. As you can see, this is not a very long story. Um, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Like, I've never been on drugs. It's a wonder she didn't blame. I'm not trying to laugh, you guys. Last call said, this is not funny, but I'm sorry. Some of y'all be saying some stuff that is absolutely hilarious. I'm sorry. This is not a funny story, but he said, I, he said, "Oh my God!" He said, "It's a wonder that she didn't blame plankton, the little teeny green thing." Uh, that's funny. Yeah, that is so hilarious. CPS are taking kids out of homes that don't need to be taken out of and leaving the ones that should be taken out of homes. Exactly, Tracy. That's true. That is so true. They are doing that. But man, when I come to you guys with this AFSCAR stuff, y'all gonna be like, what the heck? And I'm gonna tell you something right here before I get into it. I'm gonna get back into this story, but AFSCAR is like a data reporting system that CPS is supposed to do in order to continue to get funding and track all the children that come in and out of foster care, whether they stay in foster care or whether they go back to their homes and with their family. And so when I looked on the site, you guys, you would not believe it. AFSCAR reporting data system, the CPS has not reported anything in a lot of states, and I think the least one was the last report that they did to let them know what's going on with those kids were in 2005. But other states did it up till 2019, but they're missing some years. So I'm like, wait a minute, you guys are not taking this very serious. And so I'm like, you're supposed to be making sure that these kids are being tracked. And one of the questions that was asked when they had like a court proceeding for the proposal was, how many kids died in CPS services? How many kids were reported dead? Do you know they had no record of how many children actually died being in the custody of foster care? They had no record. And so what the proposal is that if they don't submit these data analysis, they won't get any funding, but they're not doing the job and they're still getting money. So I don't understand, and I don't know what is it going to take for them to literally make these people do their jobs. It's going to take somebody to say, okay, enough is enough. If I don't get what we put out here as a system to track all these children, then nobody gets any money. Another report, over 500,000 children are missing. They don't know where 500,000 children are in the foster care system. They have no clue where these kids are. And I think it's crazy. Why should they continue to get paid if they can't do their jobs? That goes for the lawyers, that goes for the district attorneys, that goes for anybody, that's working with child protective services. Nobody should get a dime if they're not going to do their job. And that's how I feel about it. But like, back to this story, she said she didn't even remember killing her child. This is crazy. I don't know what kind of drugs. Maybe she was on meth. Maybe she took some cocaine. We don't know what she was on, but she took something, So let's get back to her. She told me that she didn't remember the specifics of what happened at the time of what happened to Sutton, that she was experiencing hallucinations due to heroin. I knew it was something withdrawal and not sleeping for approximately 2 weeks, Eberling said. Why did nobody try to intervene? That's the thing. Because if the CPS investigator is asking her questions or trying to get information from her, that means that this lady was most definitely involved in CPS in the first place. So, right, no records. Why CPS? Right. There's no records. Nobody is doing anything. And maybe they have records, but maybe they just dropped the ball. They just didn't see anything that needed to be done. She was the cute little kid. Mommy always was smiling, even though she was a drug head, and so mom was able to fool the CPS worker. If I found out, and what they said they were supposed to be doing was testing some of the foster parents to make sure that they were not. Yep, right, Stephanie. It had to be a demonic drug. Exactly, Stephanie. It had to be a demonic drug. Because anything, yeah, because they had this. I forgot it was some drug. I can't remember the name of it because it was so long ago. And people would take the drug, and this man literally ran and put his head through somebody's back windshield, and the person just took off because they didn't understand. I forgot the name of it. And then they had people that was walking around filming this black guy. He was on some kind of drug, and he was out there tripping, like straight tripping, and people were filming and laughing. This stuff is not funny. What is this Vom Reed? You guys, somebody get rid of this crazy Russian Vom Red thing. CPS, you need to be ashamed of yourselves. Yes, we're all these missing babies. Exactly. Last call said he agree. Into the formula says they gotta have a paper trail. Exactly, or just a cover up in the system. Yep, exactly. Can somebody get rid of that Vom Reed? That's a Russian spam. Yeah, acid acid will do it to you too. I remember a friend of mine told me that they took acid one time and their friends were like, "Come on, man, take it. Come on, come on." And this person had to walk home after taking acid and was holding on. It was a street and it was really long, and it was just like a long, long gated piece of property that was unused. And they said I was holding on to the gate and I was walking like I was walking on the air, and people were looking at me like I was crazy, but I couldn't do anything because I was so paranoid. So I don't understand how. Thank you, Tracy. I don't understand how these CPS workers can allow somebody that is a known drug addict or has been testing positive for drugs, to adopt children. That puts you in a very, very dangerous space, because you don't know what you would do. What they say, heroin, PCP, meth, all that stuff are really, really strong hallucinogenics. And it could cause you to hallucinate and do some of the most craziest stuff. So why wouldn't that mother turn around and look at cartoons and say SpongeBob said kill her? You know what I'm saying? That's sad. That's sad. Okay, let me finish. Before the alleged murder, Johnson was at her mother's apartment as she walked home. Okay, she passed out in the what? She passed out in the graveyard, according to Eberling. Whoa, whoa, that's deep. When Johnson woke up, the family made it. What? Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, you guys. When Johnson woke and finally made it home, she thought the TV was talking to her and telling her to slay her daughter or die. The investigator said, "Then you should have turned that TV off." That's sad. Where who was at home with the daughter, the 17-year-old, when the mother passed out? And then again, you guys, if somebody comes through your door as a family member and you know that they're on drugs, answer this question below. Would you allow them, knowing that they look high, they look like they might be out of their mind, would you allow them to be around a child in your right mind? Would you allow them to be around your a child at all? I know I wouldn't. I know that I wouldn't. Okay, I'm missing. I got rid of. Okay, okay, okay. This reminds me of this episode of Law and Order. Really, really. Okay, okay. Yeah, right. Everybody's saying, heck no, I wouldn't allow somebody on drugs to be around. I like to try to tell you guys stories in between because I'm letting you know that this stuff does happen. My aunt passed away years ago and she used to be on drugs. And one time my other aunt, she passed away as well. Her sister, that is, she was watching us and we were little. And this scarred me for many years. So that's why I still remember this. So my aunt was a known drug addict, and so my aunt's sister told her to come on over, um and come sleep it off or whatever. So she was downstairs, um cooking. My aunt Hazel and my aunt Dolores. Dolores is the one that was on drugs. Hazel was the sober one. So Hazel told Dolores, go in the room, go to sleep. And she was going to cook dinner to try to get some food in her system as well as feed us kids. So we were in our room, and so my aunt was like, I'm cooking chicken. And so it was, you guys, it was so hilarious, but it traumatized me because I didn't know what to do. So my aunt, being on drugs, she was crawling on all fours. And my sister's nickname is Gigi. And the only thing, like, she was crawling toward us slow, and she would say, give me chicken, Gigi. I mean, she was really, I don't know what she took, but she kept crawling towards us, and we were all screaming. So what my aunt did was, my aunt took and put her in the room because she was hallucinating. And when she wanted that chicken, she was trying to hurt us to get what she thought she saw. She just heard the word, and she thought she saw it, and she tried to come after us, and it was going to cause us harm. So my aunt Hazel came and got her, and then put a chair up against the door so she couldn't get out. But that traumatized me because to see somebody on drugs and out of their right mind, knowing that my aunt was loving and caring and would give you the shirt off her back, and we'd never seen her like that before. Never. So drugs, different types of drugs can do different types of things. It can make you hallucinate. It can make you do things that you never thought you would be able to do. Like what they talk about crack cocaine. If that's the case, a lot of women prostitute themselves for crack cocaine. It's just so many different things when it comes to being on drugs, especially in this case with this baby here. It's really sad that she actually killed. She was getting hallucinations from the TV that had instructed her to take her daughter's life, or they would kill her. It was SpongeBob who was saying these things on the TV. If she didn't do what she did to her daughter, they will kill her. She said she was afraid for her life, and she had lost her mind. Eberling said Johnson faces life in prison if convicted. She is currently being held without bond, with a pre-trial hearing scheduled for February 28th. And I pray that I'm able to find that article so that I can bring that article. Oh, no, don't worry, Stephanie. That was years ago. But it was just, you know, something I wanted to add in here, because I've seen people that were on hallucinogenic. I don't know how to say it, y'all. I be getting tired tongue. Anybody want to come on the screen and share their thoughts, say anything before I close this out? If you do, I can go ahead and get the link and drop it for you so we can talk a little bit. Let me see. I'm gonna drop the link just in case anybody wants to come on. You don't have to, but if you want to, it would be nice to hear your input. There's the link right there, right there, right there. Okay. I don't know why this is not letting me see everybody's comment. She has some big demons. Yes, into the formula. Yes, she did. Yes, indeedy, she did. Wow. Well, if you guys don't want to come on, it's okay. I can go ahead and end the live. And I'm definitely going to be probably coming back tomorrow, or I might do a pre-recorded video, and I will be in the chat so that we could dialogue together. And, I'll just listen and pay attention with you guys. Thank you, Into the Formula. Thank you, Last Call. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Okay. You guys have a blessed weekend. Be safe. And if anybody want to reach me, just hit me up on my email. If you have any stories that you want me to cover, I will be glad to do it. Let me put my email address in here. Duh. I don't know what's going out here in California, but I'm telling you, every night I'm having already slimes. You know that slime for life. Yeah, slime for life. So wait, go ahead at Tracy or Stephanie goes up. Yeah, one of y'all get on the panel before I hang this thing up. Somebody, anybody? I'm not begging, I'm just playing, y'all. Have a great night. Peace and blessings to you. Peace and blessings to you. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Thank you so very much for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, like I said, and I'll talk to you in the next video. And don't forget about the giveaway. And I'm going to be talking to Nick on In Slime We Trust because I want to do a give. I want to. I'll let him. I'll let him announce it. I'll let him announce it. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.